Hello. The purpose of today's video is to think about what are some of the stressors that you're feeling as the election gets closer, and to help you relate that to others' experiences so that you know that you're not alone. What you are looking at here is a graphic from the American Psychological Association based on a survey that they published in October of 2020. And what you see here at the top is a comparison of Americans who said in 2016 that the election was a significant source of stress compared to those who said so in 2020. So you can see that while many of us felt stress going into 2016, it is magnified in 2020. So if you're feeling that, the first thing is to know that you're not alone. The second thing to know is, regardless of your political affiliation, everyone is feeling stress about this election. So I think it always helps me to ground myself and remind myself I'm not alone, and that, no matter what you're hoping the outcome is going to be, this is a stressful time for everyone. So what I'd like to do in this video is just talk about some steps that you can take to deal with election stress. And I decided to pull two recent articles. The one on the right, again, comes from the survey done by the American Psychological Association. And on the left, this is actually a 4-minute podcast on NPR. So you can go onto the website that I have listed here. I will put it in the notes. So you can go there and read more details. But I just want to walk through what each of these looks like for me. So if we start on the left, prepare mentally for delayed results. This means we may not have an answer the night of the election. And I want you to be prepared for that. Be prepared for whether or not things go the way that you're hoping that they do, that you're going to be here for yourself. And one way that you can do that is by making sure that you think about some stress-reducing habits. I've been spending some time thinking about, what can I be reading? What can I be watching? What can I be doing that will help me to manage any anxiety that comes up? The third step, replace scrolling with something nourishing. Being on your feed and just seeing everyone else's thoughts flood at the same time, I don't know about you, but that's probably not the best way for me to spend election night. So I am thinking about some activities that I can have planned. I'm going to try to make a good meal, and I honestly already have some things queued up that I can watch. I know that it's important to be informed, but it's very easy to be overwhelmed. And the next thing is to look for signs of hope. And you may be wondering, how do we do that? This has been so hard. It's a pandemic out here. I agree with you, but I've started to think about getting through this time. If I am here on the other side, how do I want to contribute positively to society? So I have some things that I've queued up to watch that give me inspiration and hope and remind us what we have in common. I also find art very helpful in this regard. So looking at something beautiful, listening to music, reading poetry, talking to loved ones, all of these things help me. So whatever that means to you, look for signs of hope and remind yourself that no matter what the outcome is on election day, it really is what we do as a society every day forward that is going to shift the tide. Okay, so now the tips on the right side. You'll see a few of these repeat what you saw on the left. So the first thing is uncertainty. Yes, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. And obviously we've been dealing with that throughout the past several months. But the real key to getting through this is to not worry about what you can control. And I always say, if you're trying not to do something, replace it with something positive you can do. So focus on what you can control. There's a lot of things that you can do to take action, to share your voice, to make sure that you take care of the responsibilities around you, that you create positive differences. At the very least, I have some minor work activities that I know I want to get done on election day, and I'm going to focus on getting those things done earlier in the day. So I'm focusing on what I can control. The next one is engage in meaningful activities. Take a moment. You can pause this right now, or you can do it after it ends. But I'd love to just have you reflect on, what are meaningful activities for me to engage in? What do I want to spend my limited time on this earth accomplishing? That feeds into the next one. Stay socially engaged. If you're civic minded, what can you be doing to continue to be involved in shaping our society to move forward? The next one is staying active. This might mean taking a walk. It might mean playing a YouTube video and dancing, listening to music, but just making sure that you're doing something to stay active. I think with 4 and 5, being socially engaged and staying active, we do have to think about these in unique ways now because we are still trying to be very careful in the era of COVID-19. So I'm not encouraging you to go out and socialize with a lot of people, but I do want you to think about what are meaningful ways that I can be engaged, that I can be physically active while staying safe. And lastly, I'm going to reinforce this again. Be prepared to not know the results on election day and to take the steps that you need to address your anxiety. And there's one thing that I can add to this. That is, many of us think about just wanting to get through the day, but I want to remind you to be careful with this, especially if you're using substances to block out your thought process. It's important to know that while that might feel good in the moment, these feelings are going to be waiting for you on the other side. So I want to encourage you to take some time and reflect and think about what are some things that I can do that will be nourishing, that will help me to protect my energy, that will help me to heal. And please know, I'm not asking you to not have an opinion or to not speak your voice. It's the opposite. It's really about staying informed, educating yourself, and then taking meaningful action, but not reducing your potential and what you're capable of and what our world is capable of to the outcome of one day. It is important, but I think every day after it's going to matter as well. So I hope this gave you some thoughts. I'd love to know what else you'd like for me to address, because like I said, no matter what the outcome is, we're all going to have to come back together and figure out what our next steps are. So I look forward to hearing from you. Please leave me a comment. If you enjoyed this content, obviously you can look forward to more videos that we'll be talking about it, but I really want to make sure that I'm being responsive to what your needs are. Take care and have a wonderful day.